So they are having branches in Ivory Coast and rest of them. They have ANAN.
Is a man, maybe 7 feet tall, but as a great white shark, he's actually 20.9 feet tall. Like the shark standing before you is a man who is black on the outside and white on the inside. He's kind, he's philanthropic, he's highly educated, he's very concerned about people, and he's exceptionally concerned about the people of Bayelsa State, and he's passionate about Nigeria. Born on the 28th of January 1966, he went to school like his peers, he excelled, he made his parents proud, he made his colleagues jealous. He is a lawyer, he's a politician, he's a 2-time governor of Bayelsa State, the glory of all lands. He's representing Bayelsa State, Bayelsa West Senatorial District in the National Assembly. He's a member of the NBA, member of so many organizations, national, regional, and global. He is, amongst all of these, also a member of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. Before you, because he is the great white shark, and he believes that the sea and everything around it ought to be clean, comfortable, conducive, and living worthy. He is the chairman, Senate Committee on Ecology and Climate Change. It is my honor and privilege to present to the President of Council for the award of FCNA to distinguished Senator Henry HSDickson, the distinguished Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the great white shark.
Honorable Henry HSDickson, CON, former 2-time Governor of Bayelsa State and Senator Bayelsa West, for his leadership and charismatic leadership. Being awarded Fellow Nigerian College of Accountancy today, the 25th day of January 2025. Congratulations, sir.
Members of the ANAN board, the Chief Executive Officer of ANAN, the Director General, past presidents, all of you, jointly and severally, the management staff, Your Royal Majesties and Highnesses, award recipients, graduates, students, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, and all of you who are members of this community. I think I've forgotten the Vice Chancellor and members of his team. Now let me, first of all, bring you greetings and warm felicitations from not only my family, but from the good and wonderful people of my senatorial district. You know, when you leave being governor, you don't speak on behalf of the state anymore. But on this occasion, there's a temptation to do so. But I would like to convey the greetings and the gratitude of my senatorial district, and by extension, all our people because Dr. Neminebo, in addition to being your president and chairman of council, is from the great state of Bayelsa, the glory of all lands. So I thank the president, members of council, the ANAN board, and all of you, the CEO, and all of you for extending invitation to me to be part of this very important ceremony. Not just to be part of it, but also to chair it. I thank you for that honor. I would like to also thank you immensely for the warm reception and the hospitality accorded to me and my delegation since we touched down at the airport. Let me congratulate the president, the members of council, the board, the CEO, graduates, all the students, all of you, the management of this great institution, and all the students and graduates in particular, who are part of the most important part of the reason for this occasion today. Because when I came here and I saw this vast compound, even from afar, before even entering into this beautiful gate, I inquired from the driver. I said, this vast compound fence everywhere around, from those of us by the river, and Madam, you are right, we are used to the thick vegetation of the rainforest. And I saw that this place this is savanna. But I saw a lot of lush vegetation around and a beautiful fence and gates. Sprawling compound. And I inquired from the driver. I said, this place, this beautiful, long, big compound, was it built by the federal government of Nigeria for ANAN, or it was all conceived and developed by ANAN? The driver couldn't answer. I think that was too much of a question for him. But when I came in, unexpectedly, that was one of the first inquiries I made. And I was told what I found difficult to believe, which is that this vast compound, with all these wonderful edifices, all the facilities, have been developed solely by the contributions of members of ANAN. Is that not so? So, I must congratulate Mr. President and all of you, and all the past presidents, and all members of ANAN, nationally and worldwide, for their dedication, for their support, for their unity of purpose, and for the way they have worked together to conceive of a place like this, for training of accounting professionals, and for making out resources to bring it to this level. So once again, Mr. President, I would like to thank you and your colleagues and all presidents and all those who were in the executive from 1979, I understand, when ANAN came into being, and from the 80s or 90s when ANAN decided to begin the development of this beautiful compound. So I congratulate all of you. And that is to say also, by extension, as the saying goes, to whom much is given, so much more is expected. And I see that there is unity of purpose, and there is a continuation of zeal and commitment to ensure that the sacrifices and the labor of this current president and his team, and of the past presidents who started this development, I believe that succeeding generations will continue on this path of steady progress and development in Jesus' name. Now, I believe that in the course of our conversations, one of the things that I found to be unique, which I will not only commend ANAN for, and all your members, but also actually recommend to other professional bodies in Nigeria, is your seamless order by which leadership is organized and transferred. You need to be specially recognized. I have, in the course of my public service, interacted with a lot of professional associations, and I'm also a member of a number of them, as you have already been told. But I've not seen anyone that comes close to the orderliness and the organized system that you follow, by which everyone knows with certainty who is next in line and who comes after, and in your own case, down the line for several years. I think if you're a member of ANAN, you need to clap for yourselves. Other bodies, I don't want to talk about the NBA, because we're avoiding being sued. And also other associations. I think we need to learn a thing or two from ANAN in that area. And that ensures continuity, and that explains why you've been able to achieve the giant strides that you have done. Dear graduates, and to some extent students, at an occasion like this, you need to be reminded, not taught. Not being an accountant, I do not consider myself qualified to lecture on accountancy. You know, accounting involves a lot of mathematics. And growing up, my mathematics was not fantastic, which is probably one of the reasons I ended up studying law. So I won't lecture you on accounting principles. But at the end of the day, you need to be reminded, today and always and all through your professional career, about the special role that accountants, some professional bodies, accountants and lawyers, this one I'll talk about lawyers, they have a special role to play in servicing our economy, or any economy. They have a special role to play in upholding standards amongst those who operate in our economy, public as well as private. As accountants, and particularly when you get to a certain level of leadership, you have a right to consider yourself as gatekeepers. You are institutional, professional gatekeepers who are there to spot anomalies, who are there to raise issues, who are there to ensure transparency and accuracy of all operators, public as well as private. And so you have a very special place, a very, very special place. And as we talk of a new Nigeria, as we talk of rediscovering a new Nigeria, expanding the frontiers of the Nigerian economy, and ensuring that we have an economy that you can predict and study, an economy that works, an economy that is not voodoo economics, an economy that you can really, like other economies, regulate, and also do all the things that happens for you to make an economy great. You accountants, just like lawyers and others, have a very, very special role. And that is why, again, institutions like this are playing a very important role in our national development. And I've seen, driving in, that ANAN leadership over the years, and even in this one, this current leadership, you have taken the responsibility of developing accounting manpower seriously, such that you are even graduating from being a college of accountancy to now ANAN University. You have done well. Clap for yourself. I think that you have a very special way of doing things which needs to be studied. And all of you who are students, and those of you who have had an opportunity to pass through this citadel of accounting education and excellence, need to congratulate yourselves. And so I congratulate all of you, students, and especially the graduates today who will be graduating. I congratulate all the award recipients, and I appreciate the efforts of the President, other council members, and the entire leadership who are keeping this flag flying so well. As I said, my intention is not to give a lecture. I was invited as chairman to make my remarks. And if I've even exceeded it, I have only exercised my right as a chairman of occasion. In order for the formal proceedings to begin, I would like to end on this note of congratulating all of you, particularly the graduates, students who are here, and enjoying all of you who are students to make the most and the best of your time here. But before I take my seat, I would like, on behalf of my senatorial district, on behalf of the University of Africa authorities, since I'm here, and I established a lot of institutions because of the primacy of education. You want to change a society, invest in education. And I did my best, established the University of Africa, and I want to therefore thank and appreciate the President, my brother, and ANAN for supporting him to construct the ANAN Resource Center located or domiciled in the University of Africa in Bayelsa. Thank you. This is very important. And so when this invitation came from a man who, through ANAN, is investing in the educational development of our state, I thought this is one invitation we must honor. I want to thank all council members for giving him the support and encouragement, and all of you for working together to advance the goals and objectives of ANAN. Some of us will continue to identify with you, and at any time our attention is needed for anything concerning ANAN or supporting the development of accounting as a profession. Please, we are available to hear and to support. I welcome all of you here, traditional rulers, graduate students, parents, all dignitaries, no particular order, for being part of this occasion. And on this note, I end my remarks, and I wish you all well. I wish all of us a very successful and memorable convocation of occasion. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, distinguished Senator.
When I was entering here, I almost mistook this place for Yanagwa. When I saw Doctor, Mr. President, when I saw this our country lady, you know, as I used to tell you people, and check, once God made men and women, created women to be more beautiful than men. Not so. Now, amongst the women, God made sure that the Bayelsa and the Joe women are more beautiful. I know we are away, don't celebrate that for but you are looking very good.
Yesterday, what presented was the impact of government policies on economic development in Nigeria, challenges and sustainability. Please, can you summarize on that and what's the way forward?
Well, like I said in my brief remarks, I know that a more elaborate lecture was delivered yesterday in my name because I didn't be here. Today, I talked about the role and importance of accountants and accountancy, you know, in any economy. The system, the modern economy relies and depends on accountants for the integrity of its systems, for the truth and verifiability of reports. And in anywhere an accountant is working, whether in the public sector or in the private sector, their reports, their observations, and the leadership they provide is central to the integrity and success of what they do, and therefore, collectively, for the economy of every nation. And whether they are in the private sector or public sector, they are officials of the government in a way, because they have a key role in terms, like I said earlier, of integrity, of ensuring that systems are maintained and kept, and that professionalism is encouraged. And which is why the work they are doing here is very important. Not just for the accountancy profession alone, no. They are playing a very important role in national development, in the area of preparing professionals with the right kind of training, the right kind of knowledge, and the right kind of attitude, you know, to be able to discharge their functions. Like I said, integrity and professionalism are key. Otherwise, you won't have an effective and reliable systems and reports upon which any economic decisions can be made. So,
yesterday in that very lecture, you proffered 5 solutions for macroeconomic stability. Quite curiously, you didn't say anything about tax reforms. So what will you tell these new accountants about this tax reform issue?
Well, I think a number of you know my views on tax reform, which is that this country is in need of a comprehensive tax reform, which is why the National Assembly passed the bill, well, the Senate passed the bill for second reading. By our legislative balance, when a bill is passed for second reading, you now go to the stage of public hearings and then consultations. You deepen consultations. It is at that level that you now take it clause by clause and you now drill down And then it's not every proposal that survives at that level. For example, even those of us who are in view of the comprehensive reform don't agree with every proposal. We are of the opinion, for example, that third form, because of the work they are doing, needs to be encouraged and saved. Same for NASENI and agencies like that. You understand? Like I always say, if a system is not broken, why fix it? You know, but the thinking behind the tax reform makes sense. And in general terms, that is what we have been supporting. I'm a member of the Senate Elders Advisory Committee put together by the leadership of the Senate. And we have held different consultations amongst ourselves, severally, and also interacted with the Attorney General and the tax officials. And there are certain things that have come out of that. For example, we have made it very clear that we are of the opinion, even before the governors made their communique, we didn't make ours public, but we had resolved to save NASENI Debt Fund because of the enormous work that Debt Fund is doing and the potentials that NASENI itself also holds, and so on and so forth. I disagree on the reduction of the federal government share from 15% to 10%. I know that the governors have a meeting with the tax officials where they more or less endorse that. But my view is that the federal government has too many challenges. This is not the right time to reduce federal government percentage of tax revenues. Okay? I know that VAT is essentially a state tax, and which is why some of us believe that derivation should be given prominence, because it is essentially a state-based, consumer-based tax. But the 5% reduction from 15% to 10%, in my personal view, and I said it on the floor of the Senate, I've expressed it at our committees, is that 5% should be directed towards national security. This country has serious national security challenges all over, at the rural levels, in communities, in local governments, in senatorial district, federal constituencies, in all states. So the capacity of the federal government and its security agencies to respond is in serious doubt as a result of insufficient funding. Therefore, I'm of the view that a security fund, a national security fund, be established. Whether we are going to do it by way of amendment of any laws, either of this tax legislation or of any other legislation, or whether a new legislation will be proposed, we have to think of how to address that. 5% that is being taken away, I disagree with it. That 5% should be taken and invested in national security. A special security fund needs to be established under the supervision of the National Security Advisor, where you will establish a board with all the service chiefs and others, by which 3% at least, a minimum of 3% of that 5% should be domiciled there, so that they can use it to address, equip our law enforcement agencies. The police stations and divisions have no vans, okay? They don't have communication systems. They are poorly trained, poorly motivated. How can they respond to crime and criminality? And you have the DSS, you have the civil defense, and it goes down even to the military and the security services. So this is not the right time. I've expressed my views. I disagree with that particular provision in the proposal. I disagree also with that reduction agreed to by the governors and the tax team. No, this is not the right time to reduce the capacity of the federal government to respond and fund security services. So we're engaging with our colleagues to see how that national security fund that will be established, by which at least a minimum of 3% of that 5% should not be given to the state. No, not to the local government. No, they're already getting enough. But that fund needs to be domiciled in a fund under the custody of the National Security Advisor, so that the security leaders, not politicians, security leaders, security chiefs, can administer it to increase the capacity of our security forces from bottom up. And secondly, at least 2% should be dedicated to address challenges of ecology, ecological degradation, and the effects of climate change. We are building roads, we are building infrastructure. Climate change and nature are destroying it. By way of floods, by way of rainfalls, by way of the sea encroachment or desertification. So these are critical things we need to make provisions to address. Okay? So that's my view on that. And once again, accountants are key to the stability of any economic system. Unless you want an economy that is driven by underground and criminal activities. But if we are building a formal economy, which is what we are striving to do, you can't have a $1 billion economy. The $1 billion economy must rest on the work that accountants are doing. Keeping the records, ensuring professionalism, and sustaining integrity in their systems. Thank you.